So when you hear the word economics, what pops into your head? Probably a bunch of complicated charts, right? Maybe a lot of numbers. But what if I told you it's really about something much, much simpler? It's really just a story. The story of the choices you make every single day.
Seriously, just think about it for a second. A better phone, more time on the weekend, maybe a bigger slice of pizza. That feeling, right there, that feeling of wanting just a little bit more than you can actually have, well, that's where this whole story kicks off.
Okay, let me paint you a picture. It's your birthday, and you're planning the most epic party ever. You've got it all mapped out. The DJ, the food, all your friends. You add it all up, and the grand total is 50,000 rupees. So you go to your dad, buzzing with excitement, and you ask for the money. He looks at you, smiles, and hands you 1,000 rupees. And that feeling, that gut punch when reality hits, that's exactly what we're talking about.
Well, that huge gap between the 50,000 you wanted and the 1,000 you got, it actually has a name. It's called scarcity. It's the most basic problem of life, our unlimited wants clashing head-on with limited resources. And believe it or not, this one idea, it's the engine that drives all of economics.
So, you see how this works? It's like this unbreakable chain, right? It all starts with scarcity, that gap between the party you want and the money you have. Because of that, you're forced to make a choice. You have to figure out what you can do with your $1,000. And the study of how we all deal with those choices, how we navigate those decisions, well, that is economics.
So if you boil everything we've just talked about down to a single sentence, this is what you get. Economics isn't really about money or charts. It's the science of making decisions when you just can't have it all.
Okay, but here's the thing. This isn't just about your birthday party. We're talking every company, every government, literally every single country on the planet faces this exact same problem of scarcity, just, on a ridiculously massive scale. So how in the world does an entire nation make these huge choices? Well, to get our heads around it, we don't need some complex government report. Nope, we can start somewhere way more familiar, like your mom's kitchen.
Think about it. Every single day, your mom is dealing with scarcity, right? She's got limited ingredients in the pantry, limited time, and a limited budget. And with those scarce resources, she has to answer 3 fundamental questions. What am I going to make today? How am I going to make it, from scratch or using a mix? And finally, who gets to eat, and how big is each person's portion?
Okay, now let's take those same kitchen questions and just blow them up to the size of a country. When you do that, you get the 3 central problems every single economy has to solve. First, what to produce. Do we make more guns for defense or more butter for people to eat? Second, how to produce. Do we use more people or do we invest in more machines? And the big one, for whom to produce. Who actually gets the stuff we make? Honestly, pretty much every major political and economic debate you hear about, it's really just a fight over the best way to answer one of these 3 questions.
All right, so we get it. Scarcity forces us to choose between things like guns and butter. But how can we actually see a country's limits? Is there a way to, draw a map of all the possible choices? Oh yeah, you bet there is.
It's called the Production Possibility Curve, or PPC for short. And you can think of it like a blueprint for an economy's choices. It's basically a graph that draws a clear boundary, showing the absolute maximum a country can produce if it's using everything it has, perfectly.
So let's put some numbers to this. This table really lays out the hard trade-offs. Look at combination A. The country is going all in on defense, making 10 units of guns and 0 butter. But say they want to produce just 1 unit of butter? Well, look at combination B. To do that, they have to give up a unit of guns. To get more of one thing, you always have to give up some of the other. There's just no free lunch.
So what happens when you take these combinations and plot them on a graph? Well, the numbers suddenly tell a story. They form a visual boundary, a frontier of what's actually possible for this economy.
And this curve gives us a map with 3 key zones. If a country is operating anywhere on that curve, that's perfect. That's peak performance, maximum efficiency. But what if they're inside the curve? Well, that's a problem. It means resources are being wasted, maybe people are unemployed, they're not living up to their potential. And any point outside the curve, that's the dream, that's the goal. Right now, it's impossible, but maybe with new technology or more resources, it could be the future.
So, at the end of the day, this curve is so much more than just a line on a graph. It's the visual story of scarcity, made real. It's a hard boundary that forces every nation to look at its limits and ask that one crucial question. Given what we can do, where on this curve should we be?
And that brings us right back to where we started. Economics is the science of choice. So looking at this map, this boundary of what's possible, what choice would you make?
more guns, more butter, or something in between? That decision, right there, that is the choice at the very heart of economics.